Hey guys, welcome back to my channel today. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my thoughts on a brand new makeup product. This is actually a new brand to my collection as well. I'm so excited. This was the very first product of theirs that kind of grabbed me. I was really curious about the brand for a little while, and then when they released this one, I was like, yes, this is the one I'm going to get. We're of course talking about Melt Cosmetics, and I picked up their new Shade Shift stack. So this is my first Milk stack that I have in my collection. So I'm going to tell you my, of course, honest opinion on how everything has applied today. I'll show you some swatches as well as the look I created, and I'll let you guys know if I think that these stacks are actually worth their price tag. So if you want to know all about that fun stuff about this new Melt Shape Shift stack, then just keep on watching. So first of all, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's talk about the packaging. It does come in this gorgeous box, and of course it's just cardboard, nothing crazy, but I do love how it's slightly textured, and it also has like this gorgeous kind of bronzy green, like red shift to it. So it is a shape shift box, which is very fitting, of course. And then it just has melt in the corner there. And when you open it up, you will see the stack itself. It actually is fairly weighty, and that is a surprise to me, of course, because I have never tried this brand before. I thought it was going to be maybe smaller pans, but nope, these are very large for what I thought they would be. It is a hard black plastic packaging, and of course they're all like held together with a magnetic pull or a closure. So as you can see here, I'm just going to put it over my mic. You can hear that very loud clasp, and that is the lid hitting that first shadow in the stack. They all are stacked together very strongly with that magnetic pull, but I love it because nothing is going to go flying everywhere when you store it. The first stack of this stack, I guess, or the first pile, is a mirror actually. So you can actually see it. It's a cute little travel mirror, which is adorable. I do like that. I think it's very thoughtful thinking when it comes to the packaging because it is good for on the go. I don't think it's necessarily the largest mirror ever, but it fits everything perfectly because of the size of it. So I do think when I use it, it definitely would do the job for me. I just think that this is a very nifty and innovative for them to include that. And then we have the 4 shades in the stack. So as you can see, I am pulling them apart in this clip, and it's really beautiful how they just shine like crazy. These are very unique shades to my collection, so that's probably why I was so drawn to this stack. There is a 10.8 grams total of product in this entire stack, so when you divide it by 4, each shade is about 2.7 grams. Now, when it comes to this stack in particular, I know they've done other stacks before with different formulas, but this one is all a like shimmer formula. So every single one of these is a shimmer. It is not any mattes or anything in this one. It's all very unique shape-shifting pigment. So I'm gonna read off the description on the site here as to what it is describing. So this says, loaded with transforming pigments and twinkling pearls, this stack will have you convinced it is a work of witchcraft. Magical duochrome and iridescent shadows that are perfect for adding a pop of sparkle, a wash of shimmering, majestic color, and everything in between. So what they're saying here is that for best results, you are to get hands-on, meaning use your hands and your fingers, but I will get to that. It then says that it creates a creamy dual-toned formula you can warm up with your fingers for a supernatural expansion of dimensional, ever-changing color on your eyes. The first shade in this stack is called Delirium, and as you can see, it's super pretty. This is described on their site as an intense mauve color, and it also says it has a pink shift to it. So this is really beautiful. Love that. The next shade in this stack is called Chameleon. This is a gorgeous emerald, and it says here that it is a changeable emerald with distinctive blue and lime green glitter flecks. Next we have Mimic, which is this one here. This is a steel blue, and it also says it shifts to a celestial amethyst. This is one of the shades that I use today. As you can see on my eyes, it is super pretty. The last shade in here is called Shape Shift, which is very fitting. This is what this one looks like here, and this one is really cool. I'm gonna kind of show you with the light how it shifts. So we've got that color here, and then it shifts to like a green, right? Can you guys see that? It's super pretty. This one says it's a magical deep terracotta that evolves into a bright jade. So we do have the jade like this when the light hits it, and then you've got that terracotta-ness on the undertone as I flip it down. So here are the swatches as well. well. They are super pretty, you guys, but as a still shot, it doesn't seem to give as much of an impact as they say on their site here. So I wanted to also show you a moving clip of me moving my arm as well to kind of give you an idea of how these shades bend and shift with the light, because just a still swatches picture is not enough to give you that full impact of what these pigments can really do. So this is them all together here. You can actually kind of hold them like this. I wouldn't recommend it because although the magneticness is very, strong, this I don't trust. So I'm gonna make sure that they are stacked still, but I wanted to kind of show you how they all look in the pan here when they're all held together. And these, you guys, I am so impressed with. I have nothing like this in my collection. So as I said, that is why I was initially drawn to them. Now the price of this melt stack is actually 48 American dollars. I do think that you get a lot of product, number one, a very innovative formula, number two, and some very unique shades as well. So it just kind of depends on what your preferences are, what you prefer when it comes to your makeup. But this is something that I am personally very excited that I added to my collection. So for the look today, I do have a couple thoughts. So of course, as you guys know, Melt does recommend to really get in with your fingertips and apply it with your fingers. I really wanted to see how it would apply with brushes as well, because a lot of you guys have also expressed to me that applying stuff with fingers is not your first preference. So what I did was I started off with a Smith 247 and I applied the first shade, which is Delirium. As you can see, it does apply decently well on the lid with a brush, but I do think it needs to be built up on the brush because you do have that creaminess of this pigment that I think doesn't quite translate with a brush as much as a fingertip application would. So when you're doing a brush application, keep in mind that you're going to have to build it up a little bit on the eye, and that's perfectly normal. So as you can see, that first shade didn't give me any fallout at all, even with a brush application. You could even just leave it here if you want, because the color itself with its shade shifting properties, it's beautiful on its own. These I think are great for just like a single shadow look because they already have that multi-dimensional effect. You don't have to worry about adding color on color to create a really beautiful look. But since I did want to add one more color to this so that I could get a little bit more color on my eye and try out a little bit more of the stacks, I did pick up the shade Mimic, and I used a Luxie eye shader brush for this. And this is also a beautiful pigment. I think worked beautifully when applied with a brush as well. I didn't think that you needed to apply it with your fingers necessarily, but when I did go in with my fingers after the fact, it did make a monumental difference. All of a sudden, I didn't have to build it up. It's smoothly applied over the lid with no issues. I also wanted to add Mimic a little bit under the bottom lash line there. I just wanted it to be very subtle. I didn't want it to be a super bright purple underneath, but just a little bit to give some dimension. And I used a pencil brush for this, and this is where I found some of the fallout. All in all, this is the makeup look I created today. A lot of you guys asked me to try purple after you saw my Tarte video where I reviewed the Icy Betch palette, and that was a gorgeous, like, bright drama blue kind of look. This is now the purple. So what do you think of it? I think I'm pretty happy with it. And for someone that has never tried this brand, of course I can't comment on their other formulas that are also in their other stacks. I believe they have a matte formula as well in some other stacks and things like that. This is great for beginners, I think, especially those that love fingertip application. This is unique to say the least, and I am very impressed with it. I think that if you guys are interested in a stack, you have preferences similar to me, I think that this would be something that you would definitely enjoy because it's not one that requires a lot of work for it to look beautiful on the lid. These shadows are also made in the USA, which I also like, and I do think that these are very, very good quality. Anyways, guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and that you found all the information very helpful. And until my next one, guys, take care. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, guys.
You and me, everything that we've been through has made us strong. You won't believe we've had our gray, but somewhere there's a light inside of us. It shows the way.